Today, my parents texted, the $4. 3M beach villa you're paying off goes to your sister on her wedding day. 2. How they kept her paying. A pattern of manufactured crises. Chelsea isn't stupid, she's conditioned. Year 3, Dad's heart scare, turned out to be acid reflux. Year 4, Mom's depression. Year 6, unexpected medical bills. Every year, Chelsea told herself, just one more year, then I'll set boundaries. Every year, something happened. Now she realizes, nothing ever happened to them, things only happened to her wallet. Meanwhile, they had money for Megan's car, $35,000. Megan's tuition, private university. Megan's condo down payment, $80,000. The pattern was never about what they could afford. It was about what they chose to afford. 3. Foreshadowing Hasson, grandmother's last words 15 years ago, Chelsea sat with grandmother in hospice. The old woman gripped her hand with surprising strength. You look just like Helen. Promise me take care of yourself, not everyone else. You've already given enough. Chelsea thought Grandma was confused, mixing her up with her late aunt. But grandmother's next words were crystal clear. There's a letter. Make sure you get the letter. She died 2 days later. Chelsea never saw any letter. When she asked her mother, she was told, Grandma was on heavy medication. She didn't know what she was saying. 4. Foreshadowing #2. The inheritance that disappeared after grandmother's death, the family gathered for the reading of the estate. Chelsea expected something. Grandmother had always treated her specially, almost protectively. Instead, Chelsea received $25,000, the same as each grandchild. Everything was divided equally, her mother announced. But grandmother had promised Chelsea something more, something about making sure you're taken care of. When Chelsea asked, her mother shut it down. Be grateful for what you received. It's not polite to question. Chelsea was 23, grieving, and not yet wise enough to push back. She signed the papers and moved on. The question never fully left her. Cliffhanger. That Tuesday evening, Chelsea's phone buzzed with a message from her mother. She opened it casually, then read it 3 times, her coffee growing cold in her hands. The message wasn't meant for her. Part 2. Rising action. The mask falls. Objective. Expose the betrayal explicitly, reveal the conspiracy's scope, show Megan as conscious accomplice, deepen the identity mystery through realistic discovery methods. Timeline. 8 weeks before the wedding. Current situation. Chelsea has just received a misdirected text that shattered her understanding of her place in the family. She's piecing together evidence while processing the shock. Key points to develop. 1. Twist Hasson, the misdirected message. The text from Mom, clearly meant for someone else. Lawyer says adding Megan's name to the deed just needs Chelsea's signature. Tell her it's for estate planning purposes. She won't question it, she never does. Once it's done, we can discuss full transfer after the wedding. Our girl deserves this fresh start. Our girl, singular, not our girls. Thumbnail text. Chelsea stares at the words. Not the money she could survive losing money. It's the phrase she won't question it, she never does. 10 years of sacrifice. Exposed as a strategy they were counting on. 2. Twist #2, the secret group chat, discovered realistically. Chelsea notices something in the forwarded message. Forwarded from Abbott Family Planning. She checks her phone. She's not in any group by that name. Her hands trembling. She calls Megan not to confront, but to test. Hey, I got a weird text from Mom. Something about a family planning group? Megan's response is too quick, too rehearsed. Oh, that's just Mom and Dad's estate stuff. Boring legal things. You know how they are. But Chelsea catches something in Megan's voice, not confusion, but fear. The fear of being caught. That weekend, Chelsea visits her parents' house for wedding planning. When her mother leaves her phone on the kitchen counter to answer the door, Chelsea has 90 seconds. She finds the group chat. She screenshots what she can. Dad, 3 years ago. Megan's engaged soon. Time to start thinking about the house transfer. Mom, 2 years ago. Chelsea paid $102K this year without complaint. Let's keep it that way. Megan, 1 year ago. What if she wants the house eventually? Mom's reply. She's not the marrying type, and she'll do what we ask. She always does. Dad, 6 months ago. Remember, keep her happy until after the wedding. 3 years. They've been planning this for 3 years. 3. Confrontation. Megan reveals her true self. Chelsea calls Megan that night. reads the screenshots back to her. Silence. Then Megan's voice shifts, not apologetic, but defensive. Why are you making this about you? I'm the one getting married. You have this amazing career. You travel. You don't need a beach house. I'm building a life, a family. And honestly, you had something I never did. You had their pride. Every accomplishment, every promotion, Chelsea did this, Chelsea did that. I grew up invisible. So yes, I think I deserve one thing that's mine. Is that so terrible? Chelsea realizes Megan isn't just selfish. She's convinced herself she's the victim. 4. Foreshadowing #3. The storage unit discovery Chelsea remembers something grandmother said. There's a letter. On a hunch, she searches grandmother's name in old family emails. She finds one from a storage company sent to the family address 15 years ago. Prepaid storage unit number 247 inches, the name of Margaret Abbott Sr., has been paid through 2030. Chelsea calls the company. As a family member with proper ID, she can access the unit. Inside, boxes of grandmother's personal items, including a folder labelled for Chelsea to be given on her 21st birthday. She was never given anything on her 21st birthday. Inside the folder, a sealed envelope with grandmother's handwriting. For Chelsea, when she's ready to know the truth about who she is and why I tried to protect her. And beneath the envelope, photographs. A young woman with auburn hair holding an infant on the back. Helen and baby girl, March 1986, Chelsea's birth, month and year. Cliffhanger. With trembling fingers, Chelsea opened her grandmother's letter. The first line read, My darling Chelsea, the woman you call mother is not your mother. Your real mother was my daughter Helen, and she loved you more than you will ever know. Part 3. Climax. The truth that changes everything. Objective. Climax. Deliver the identity revelation that reframes the entire conspiracy. Expose the inheritance betrayal. Show Chelsea's transformation from conditioned victim to strategic actor. Timeline. 5 to 6 weeks before the wedding. For 12 years. I paid the mortgage on. My $4. 3M beach villa. Then my parents texted, It would be the perfect wedding gift for your sister. I didn't argue. 1 month later, I handed them a lease. The rent was tripled, or get out. Because they had hidden a shocking secret about my identity from me, and that was why they always favoured their golden daughter, even though I built everything from nothing on my own. Current situation. Chelsea has read grandmother's letter and is processing the revelation that her entire identity was a lie. She reaches out to great aunt Evelyn, the family member exiled for opposing the cover-up. Key points to develop. 1. Twist #3, the full revelation, main climax. Grandmother's letter reveals everything. My darling Chelsea. If you're reading this, I have failed you. I didn't live long enough to tell you in person, as I planned to on your 21st birthday. Your mother, your real mother, was my youngest daughter, Helen. She was bright, artistic, passionate, and at 22, she fell in love with the wrong man. He was her professor. He was married. When she became pregnant with you, our family saw only scandal. Your Aunt Margaret, the woman you call mother, offered to adopt you. I was grateful at the time. I didn't know she would erase Helen entirely. Helen died in a car accident when you were 8 months old. Some days I wonder if the shame we heaped on her contributed to her recklessness that night. I will carry that guilt to my grave. What you must know. I have asked Margaret to give you the larger share of my estate to compensate, however inadequately, for the mother you lost. This letter explains my wishes. I have left a copy with your great aunt Evelyn, whom your parents have likely taught you to distrust. Find Evelyn. She has the proof. She has your mother's things. She has the truth. I'm sorry I wasn't stronger. I'm sorry I let them silence me. But know this. Helen loved you. She fought for you. She chose you. And you, my dear, are so very much her daughter. With all my love, grandmother. 2. Great Aunt Evelyn fills in the gaps. Chelsea calls the number in grandmother's letter a number her parents told her belonged to a mentally unstable woman you should never contact. Evelyn's voice cracks when she answers. I've been waiting for this call for 3 years. Evelyn provides the complete picture. Helen got pregnant by Dr. Richard Thornton, a married professor who refused to leave his wife. The Abbott family, devout Catholics, couldn't bear the scandal. When Helen died, they saw a chance to fix everything by pretending Chelsea was Margaret's daughter. Evelyn protested, was labelled mentally unstable, and was cut off. She tried to reach Chelsea for years, letters returned, a restraining order threatened. She has. The original letter of wishes, Helen's journal, Helen's bracelet, Chelsea's original birth certificate naming Helen as mother, Evelyn's crucial revelation. Your grandmother's letter of wishes was clear you were to receive $180,000 plus her jewelry collection. Your mother claimed you received your fair share of $25,000, and the rest was divided among other grandchildren. I have a copy of what the letter actually said. 3. Chelsea's emotional processing. Realistic, not instant. Chelsea doesn't bounce back in a day. The next week is brutal. Night 1. She can't sleep. She reads grandmother's letter until she's memorized every word. Days 2 to 3. Cold rage. She calculates what she's lost. $150,000, $5,000 in inheritance, $1 million, $20,000 in mortgage payments, 38 years of identity. Days 4 to 5. Grief not for her adoptive parents, but for Helen, for grandmother, for the life she was never allowed to know. Days 6 to 7. A strange clarity emerges. She's not broken. She's finally understanding why she never felt like she fully belonged. It wasn't her failure, it was their design. Evelyn sends a package. Helen's bracelet, given to Evelyn before Helen's death. Keep this for my baby in case anything happens to me. Helen's journal with an entry written during pregnancy. My little one, they want me to give you up. I won't. Whatever happens, know that you were wanted. You were fought for. You were loved. Chelsea's original birth certificate. For the first time, Chelsea has proof. Someone chose her unconditionally. 4. The strategic decision Chelsea meets with 2 lawyers. Real estate attorney. Confirms she is the sole legal owner. No one can add names without her signature. She can legally issue a notice to terminate occupancy with 60 days' notice. Estate attorney. Grandmother's letter of wishes, combined with Evelyn's testimony, could support a civil case for the mishandled inheritance. However, the statute of limitations is murky after 15 years. Chelsea's decision. She won't sue for the inheritance too much energy spent on people who don't deserve it. But she will reclaim what's legally, unambiguously hers. The beach house. She requests 1 document. Notice to terminate occupancy, effective 60 days from receipt. Cliffhanger. The following Monday, a courier knocked on the door of the Abbott Beach Villa. Inside the certified envelope, not an accusation, not an explanation, just a legal notice, a 60-day deadline, and Chelsea's signature. Her parents' 10-year plan was about to collapse on itself. Part 4. Falling action. The empire crumbles. Objective. Show concrete, specific consequences for each antagonist, demonstrate the complete power reversal, satisfy the audience's need for justice. Timeline. 2 to 3 weeks before the wedding, during the 60-day notice period. Current situation. Chelsea's legal notice has arrived. The family is in chaos. The wedding approaches, but the ground has shifted beneath everyone's feet. Key points to develop. 1. The legal notice. Precision strike. The document is cold and professional. Chelsea Abbott, as sole title holder, is exercising her legal right to terminate the current occupancy arrangement. Current occupants must vacate within 60 days of receipt. Alternative. Sign a formal lease agreement at $8,500, the exact monthly cost Chelsea has been paying alone. Any attempt to forge signatures, manipulate property records, or interfere with the owner's rights will be reported to authorities. The message is clear. Chelsea knows about their scheme, she has documentation, and she's not bluffing. 2. Each antagonist's reaction, the masks dissolve. Mother from manipulation to desperation. Day 1. Voicemail after voicemail. How could you do this to your family, after everything we've done for you? Day 3. Shifts to guilt. I'm sorry about Helen. I should have told you. Please, let's talk. Day 5. Threatens. You'll regret this. You're throwing away your family for money. Day 7. Begs. What do you want? Name your price. We can work something out. Chelsea responds once, via text. You had 38 years to tell me the truth. You had 15 years to honor grandmother's wishes. You had 10 years to treat me like family instead of an ATM. There is no working something out. Father, the reasonable negotiator, panics. Calls with his calm, let's be practical voice. Chelsea, this is emotional. Let's sit down like adults. We can find a middle ground. Chelsea. You mean like the middle ground where I paid $1 million for a house you were secretly planning to give to Megan? Father, that's not how it was. We always intended to... Chelsea, you intended to keep me paying until the wedding, then ask for my signature under false pretenses. I've seen the group chat. Dead silence. He hangs up without another word. Megan, the accomplice, faces reality. Calls crying, "You're ruining my wedding, Chelsea. How can you be so selfish?" Chelsea, you knew. For 3 years you sat in that group chat while they planned to take what I paid for. You're not a victim, Megan. You're a co-conspirator. Par un. Exposition. The daughter who paid for everything. Objective. Build deep empathy for Chelsea. Establish the 10-year financial exploitation. Plant foreshadowing for identity. Twist and conspiracy. Show how Chelsea was systematically conditioned to comply. Timeline. 10 weeks before the wedding. Megan, dropping the tears. You know what? Fine. You want to be alone forever, that's on you. Mom and Dad chose me. They've always chosen me. Because I'm their real daughter. The line goes quiet. Then Chelsea speaks. Actually, neither of us is their real daughter, in the way you think. But you're right about one thing: they chose you. And now, I'm choosing myself. Goodbye, Megan. She hangs up. 3. Twist #4. The truth spreads like wildfire. It starts small. A cousin asks Chelsea about your family's beach house. At a pre-wedding gathering, Chelsea declined to attend. Chelsea responds to the text honestly. That house is in my name. I've paid the mortgage for 10 years. My parents will be moving out soon. The cousin tells another cousin. That cousin tells an aunt. Then the older generation speaks up. Great Uncle Bernard, 89, has known the truth for decades. About time that poor girl found out. What Margaret did to Helen's memory, shameful. Great Aunt Patricia, I always wondered why Chelsea looked so much like Helen. Margaret told us it was just coincidence. The whisper network of a large Catholic family is devastatingly efficient. By wedding week, the secret is no longer secret. People who admired Richard and Margaret Abbott now look at them differently. Some reach out to Chelsea in support. Others confront her parents directly. The reputation they spent 38 years carefully constructing falls apart in days. 4. The hollow apology. Too little, too calculated. 1 week before the wedding, Mother sends a long email. It's carefully crafted. Dear Chelsea, I am sorry for everything. We should have told you about Helen. We should have honoured Mother's wishes. We made mistakes, and I understand if you're angry. I only hope that someday we can be a family again. But Chelsea notices what's missing. No acknowledgement of the 10-year mortgage scheme. No mention of the group chat or the planned deception. No specific accountability, just vague mistakes. No offer to repay what they took. This isn't an apology. It's a PR statement, designed to look good if Chelsea ever shows it to anyone. Chelsea forwards it to her lawyer without response. Cliffhanger. The wedding was in 1 week. Every relative, every family friend, every member of their church community would be watching. The question on everyone's lips. Would Chelsea Abbott show up to face the family that lied to her for 38 years, and if she did, what would happen next? Part 5. Resolution. Choosing herself. Objective. Deliver deeply satisfying closure, show long-term consequences for each antagonist, demonstrate Chelsea's complete transformation, end with an empowering message for the audience. Timeline. Spans from wedding day to 6 months later. Current situation. The wedding has passed. The 60-day notice period has ended. Chelsea is building her new life on her own terms. Key points to develop. 1. Chelsea's choice, presence through absence. Chelsea does not attend the wedding. Not from bitterness, from peace. There's nothing to prove. No performance to give. No family role to play. Instead, she drives to Vermont to spend the weekend with Evelyn. Together, they visit Helen's grave, a small headstone Chelsea never knew existed in a cemetery 2 hours from where she grew up. Chelsea brings flowers and a letter she wrote. Mom, I finally know who I am. I finally know you fought for me. I'm sorry we never got to meet. But I want you to know I'm fighting for myself now, just like you would have wanted. Evelyn holds her hand as she cries. Not tears of sadness, tears of release. She's mourning a mother she never knew, and at the same time, finding a family she'd always had. She returns home feeling lighter than she has in 38 years. Current situation. Chelsea sits in her rented city apartment, processing yet another mortgage payment of $8,500 while scrolling through photos of Megan's dress fitting at the family beach house. a house that has somehow never felt like Chelsea's, despite a decade of payments. 2. Consequences. The antagonist's new reality, specific and satisfying. The parents. Immediate consequences. The 6-0 day notice expires 1 week after the wedding. They must vacate. They move to a 2-bedroom apartment in a mid-tier complex, their first time living within their actual means in a decade. The church community they cultivated for 40 years now views them with suspicion. The whispers don't stop. Several relatives have stopped speaking to them. Others have reached out to Chelsea directly, apologising for not seeing the truth sooner. Financial reality hits. Without Chelsea's $8,500 month subsidy, they must cut expenses dramatically. Father takes a part-time consulting job. Mother, at 66, goes back to work for the first time in 20 years. The parents, long-term consequences. 6 months later, they attempt contact. Mother sends a letter, a real one this time, with specific acknowledgements. Father calls, voice breaking. Chelsea reads the letter, listens to the voicemail, decides she's not ready, may never be. She responds with 3 sentences. I received your messages. I'm not prepared to reconnect. If that changes, I will reach out. They've lost the daughter who would have done anything for them. They did it to themselves. Megan, immediate consequences. The wedding happens, but it's not the fairy tale she imagined. The venue is a hotel ballroom, not the beach villa she expected. Whispers circulate among guests. Everyone knows something happened, even if they don't know everything. Her new husband, Derek, overhears enough to start asking questions. The $1 million wedding gift never materializes. Megan, long-term consequences. 3 months after the wedding, Megan calls Chelsea. Her voice is different, less entitled, more desperate. I've been thinking. We're still sisters, right? Maybe I was wrong about some things. Chelsea's response is measured. We're cousins, actually, and I wish you well, Megan. But I'm not interested in a relationship with someone who spent 3 years planning to take what I built. I genuinely hope you find happiness. But not with me. For the first time in her life, Megan must build something without someone else's money, someone else's sacrifice, someone else's blind support. Her marriage survives the revelation, but Derek now watches his in-laws differently. Trust, once broken, casts a long shadow. 3. Chelsea's new life, rising from the ashes. The villa transformed. Chelsea converts the beach house into a premium vacation rental. After expenses and mortgage, net profit. Approximately $85,000, $120,000 a year. She establishes the Helen Abbott Memorial Scholarship. 15% of rental profits fund educational grants for young adults who aged out of foster care or were adopted. The house that was meant to be stolen from her now funds opportunities for others who are also cast aside. Every guest who stays there sees a small plaque in the entryway. This home is dedicated to the memory of Helen Abbott, 1963 to 1987, a mother whose love outlasted her life. Her personal life. Chelsea finally buys her own apartment, a bright, modern space in the city that's entirely hers. She decorates it exactly how she wants. No small guest room, no accommodating anyone else's preferences. She builds a genuine relationship with Evelyn, weekly video calls, holiday visits, a late-blooming but deep family connection based on truth rather than obligation. She joins a support group for late discovery adoptees. For the first time, she's surrounded by people who understand what it means to rebuild your identity in your 30s. She starts therapy not because she's broken, but because 38 years of conditioning don't undo themselves. 6 months later, a colleague introduces her to someone. His name is Marcus. It's early coffee, conversation, the tentative beginnings of something, but it feels different. She's not performing the responsible daughter. She's just Chelsea. 4. The final boundary. Grace without weakness. Chelsea doesn't completely cut off her adoptive parents. She sends birthday cards, brief holiday messages, civility without intimacy. Key points to develop. When her mother attempts deeper conversation, Chelsea keeps it short. I hope you're well. I'm doing fine. Take care. She has forgiven them not for their sake, but for hers. Carry in anger would mean they still control her, but forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Trust, once systematically destroyed, doesn't regenerate on demand. When people ask if she'll ever truly reconcile, Chelsea says, I don't wish them harm, but I spent 38 years trying to earn a place in a family that was never going to give me one. I was auditioning for a role I could never win because the role itself was a lie. I'm done auditioning. I have a family now, Evelyn, the friends who stuck by me, the community I'm building, people who know who I am and chose me anyway. That's enough. That's more than enough. Closing monologue for the outro. For 10 years, I paid $8,500 a month for a house I was never supposed to keep. For 38 years, I performed the role of the good daughter for people who saw me as a resource, not a child. I thought sacrifice would earn me love. I thought loyalty would earn me belonging. I believed that if I just gave enough, they would finally see me. I was the mark in a con I didn't know existed. But here's what they didn't count on. The same strength they exploited to fund their scheme, I used it to dismantle everything they built. My mother, my real mother, Helen, she fought for me when everyone told her not to. She chose me, and now, finally, I understand what that means. The beach villa? It's not their retirement dream anymore. It's not Megan's wedding gift. It's Helen Abbott's legacy funding futures for people who were thrown away, just like I almost was. They spent 10 years taking everything from me. It took me 10 weeks to take it all back. And for the first time in 38 years, Chelsea Abbott stopped trying to be chosen. She chose herself. Finally, Madge. Chelsea stands on the balcony of her new apartment at sunset, Helen's bracelet on her wrist. On her refrigerator is a framed photo, Helen at 22, laughing, full of life, not yet weighed down by the world's judgment. Her phone buzzes. A text from Evelyn with a photo of Helen's grave, now decorated with fresh flowers. Visited her today. She would be so proud of you. Chelsea smiles. She screenshots the image and sets it beside the photo on her refrigerator. Behind her, her apartment glows with warm light. Ahead, the city sparkles with possibility. Somewhere out there, Marcus is probably texting her about their next coffee date. Somewhere else, her parents are learning to live without her. She takes a deep breath. The air tastes like freedom. For the first time in 38 years, Chelsea Abbott is finally, completely, home. 1. The family house that consumed her savings. 10 years ago, Chelsea's parents found their dream retirement home a $1 8M beach property. They couldn't qualify for the mortgage alone. Chelsea, then 28 with a strong income and excellent credit, agreed to co-sign. The original plan split costs 3 ways. Reality. After 2 years of shared payments, her parents began having emergencies. Chelsea has now paid over $1 million alone. The house has appreciated to $4. 3M equity that her parents treat as theirs to give away. When Chelsea visits twice a year, she sleeps in the smallest guest room. She has never chosen a single piece of furniture. Her parents have never once said, "This is your house too."